everybody, it's Gypsy, and welcome to On the Edge of Appalachia. Today is Sunday, November 9th, 2025, and I am on my way to the flea market to vend. And I am sad to report that I am wearing my parka today. I'm heartbroken here. Anyways, as you can see, it's raining right now. I just heard that Chicago got hit by the storm and they are covered in snow. I'm not ready for this. Anyways, around 7 o'clock, this turns to snow. Now here's something funny. When I woke up, because at first I think they said we were getting like 3 to 5, 3 to 6 inches. But you always have to keep looking because they change it. You know, it either increases or decreases. It never fails. And so this morning I did a search to see what the total total snowfall would be. And AI says, according to the National Weather Service, Northeast Ohio has 0 inches of snowfall over the next couple days. And I'm like, well, that's weird. I mean, I might expect it to go down, but not to 0. Not here. Not when this is happening. So, okay, I go to the National Weather Service. It has increased from, what we had before to 5 to 10 inches from tonight until Tuesday morning. So, fun times. I don't know, I'm not ready. But anyways, okay, so it's supposed to, after this storm, warm back up to more normal temperatures, which from what I read should be, an average of 52 degrees. Yesterday I read that last year it was 59 degrees. And now we're having a snowstorm, so you never know. But, okay, so it's going to warm up. I never got around to planting my garlic. Do you guys think it's too late after this snowstorm for me to plant the garlic? I usually do it on my birthday, which is November 3rd, and it always works out good for me. But now, not only will we be approaching the middle of November, it's already snowed. So I don't know. I don't know much about planting garlic. So I don't know. I don't know about this either. I can't believe I had to pull out my parka today. If it starts to snow early, which unfortunately has been known to happen, I'm leaving the flea market early. I remember the first snowstorm last year. I left when it started snowing. By the time I put my stuff in my car and got on the road, it was a whiteout down by the flea market. So I had to drive several miles because this one was one of those snowstorms where it had the low-lying area. I mean, it hit up here too. We got a lot of snow, but it cleared up by the time I got up here. So up until, the whole time I'm in the lowlands near the lake, I was driving through a whiteout. And I'm like, I am never going to let that happen again. So I'm going to keep checking today on the off chance, and I think it is an off chance that it snows early. Anyways, so here's something I've been thinking. I think about a lot of stuff, I know. Anyways, a lot of religions and spiritual paths, and this includes, the average spirituality today, who oftentimes think they're better than organized religion. Now, personally, for me, it works better. However, I get a little concerned about people when they think that they are above those who are not in the spiritual movement today and, have an attitude towards those who are in organized religion Because I don't care what your spiritual path is, you never know everything. You may have knowledge that is correct that the other person doesn't have. On the other hand, the other person probably has knowledge, spiritual knowledge, that you don't have that is correct. I mean, it works both ways. Okay, and so one of the things is those in the spiritual movement will often make fun of those who are in an organized religion and take everything literally when it was supposed to be a metaphor. And so you're sitting here, they're telling you, oh, this happened because it says so. And you know that's not possible. It's totally against the law of physics. You know, and people will make fun of that. Now, on the other hand, this is the point I'm getting to today that I wanted to talk about. I'd say about 12 to 14 years ago, I started to hear talk amongst the spiritual community that there would be a new earth, which was really nothing new, and that the earth would split. Well, at that time, it seemed like everybody was taking it very literally. And as woo-woo as I am, and the strange stuff I have seen, heard, and experienced throughout my life up into this very moment right now, I'm going, that doesn't make sense. How's that possible? No, I'm sorry. I think we're taking this too literally. It's a metaphor. The thing is, how is it a metaphor? How is this going to work? Etc. And, you know, it was like that bugged me for a long time. You know, I heard there was going to be two Earths that looked identical, but different sets of people, I guess you want to say. And I'm going, come on. I could not buy into that one. And, you know, thought about it, whatever. As the years passed, people kind of calmed down and got more reasonable about it, which is a good thing. And I'm thinking, and the whole time going, this has got to be babies. Why are you always doing that? These squirrels, especially the black ones, they just dance across the road right in front of your car. And they're literally dancing. They're beautiful, but anyways, you know, it just didn't make sense to me. Okay, so finally, the metaphor has revealed itself. No, there is not going to be two Earths. Okay? I know there are still some people who believe that the Earth is not going to split. There's not going to be two planet Earths. Okay? And I am sure in this universe there is at least a planet or two who is very, very, very similar to planet Earth. That makes sense. But it's not planet Earth. So anyways, now, I'm going to base this on my own life, and I have heard this from others, that this is happening to them. You know, it's just, okay, a split, it's more of a split in, for lack of a better term, camps. Not only who believes what, but who wants what for their lives. Okay? Because what I see is, okay, what I want for my life, other people want something else. I mean, like the total opposite. Now, I cannot understand why they would want this, and I'm sure they can't understand why I want what I want. But there is such a significant divide there that things have gotten ugly. Ugly. Because people are acting stupid and ugly lately. Anyways, I will attack, if I'm angry, an organization, and I'm talking verbally, like an organization, an institution, a government agency. That is what I am more likely to attack than anything else, is a government agency. I don't go attacking individual people, and like I don't last time I did that, I was not even relating this agency to anyone at all. Not even a teacher. I mean, because to me, teachers are more, I almost want to say victim of the system too, as much as the children and the families. But I don't look at that agency as a person. Okay, I don't. I mean, I can't even look at the parasites, the powers that want to be as people. It's really hard to look at them as a sentient being because of their behavior. But anyways, things like this, people are taking very personally. Okay? So it's like you don't like something the government's doing, or you don't want this, that, or another agency nosing around in your personal business. Yet, someone else is okay with it. And for whatever reason lately, tensions are so high, it is causing a split, a division. So I hear a lot of people say, okay, well, I lost my job all of a sudden. I lost my house. Now I got to move. This person just disappeared from my life. That person did whatever. So people are going through massive changes. And I believe on a spiritual level, it is because the two different camps are so divided that they really it cannot have any semblance of harmony together. I can't. I have trouble looking at it. I have trouble understanding this, but it's happening. I saw this start a few years ago, and I'm like, what? Now I know a lot of you have. I have a liberal friend. I have two liberal friends. They are still my friends. My liberal family, I cut tie. I mean, we just don't see each other anymore. We cannot be in each other's presence. My two liberal friends, though, we can. What the hell was I talking about? Oh, it was a couple years ago. I was hearing stories. You got to take it with a grain of salt. You never know. Like for me, I never know for sure if it's true unless I actually experience it. So I guess the universe decided it was going to show me that yes, this story is true. Not all of them are. And I was like, well, this is weird. This can't be true. Therapists, liberal therapists, were telling their liberal clients to not go to their conservative family's house for Thanksgiving or Christmas or anything. Now, I always hosted Thanksgiving in my family. I'm like, I was shocked when it happened in my family. It happened. They would not come over to my house because my house is conservative. First time ever. I'm like, okay. So that was when the downfall of my family began. It's much more detailed and nasty than that, but I'm not going to get into that. So those kind of things are happening. People are losing jobs that no longer fit them. Places they live, they no longer fit them. And you know how people always say when like one door closes, another one opens, God has a better plan for you. That's what's happening now. The universe is rearranging us so that we are more with our tribe, if you want to put it that way. Better, like me breaking my leg when I was 58 was a very like spiritual. It was a divine thing happening. First of all, I fell on January 31st and had emergency surgery. And, so I ended up in the hospital for much longer than I cared to. the rehab for much longer than I cared to. This was in New Mexico. My son and daughter-in-law picked me up, brought me up here. So anyways, my mother died that September. So I think the main purpose, divinely, was so I could spend time with my mother. Because my mother ended up in a nursing home that is just up the road from my current home, where I ended up living. Okay. And then, I'm back with my son, his dad, and my daughter-in-law. And I ended up just staying there. And I think, yes, that's where I'm supposed to be right now. That's why it happened. And I have to tell you, we're having a great time. We have our moments, everybody does. But I'm really enjoying myself. So, I think that is what is meant by the splits, the new earth, etc. It's just, that's what it is. Okay? And I'll tell you, people have dropped out of my life. And I'm not talking about just my birth family. Because my birth family, the family I was born into back in the 60s, they're totally gone. We totally split up. The family I created as an adult, I'm still with now. Now, that's my situation. Your situation or another person's situation could be the opposite or something totally different. So I think that's what is meant, okay? I am very, being Scorpio, I don't like people in my business. I'm a very private person. And so, no, I don't want or need your help. I don't trust you. I am going to take care of it myself. I agree with President Reagan on the government offering help. It is very frightening. Whereas other people like it. I don't. I am just a country girl who wants to be free. It's all. That's it. Just leave me alone. I don't want your help. I don't know. It's so weird, but to me, and that is very spiritual, that's the split. The earth is not going to split. People are not going to disappear off the face of the earth. They will just seem that way because they are, physically and spiritually in a different place than you are. And I'm not saying one's better than the other. To me, my side's better because it's what I want. But the other side, they're going to think their way is better, okay? So that's the problem. I really think we have come to a place in human history where we need that divide because things have just gotten that weird, I don't know. But to me, yeah, you really have to, when you are reading a religious/spiritual statement, or you hear it, like I heard this, you have to really think about it, because most of the time, that river's going to be frozen soon. Most of the time, it's very metaphorical. That's why, you read an ancient text and you go, well, that can't have had this. Or even something about the future. Well, that's not going to happen. How can that happen? And it doesn't, because it wasn't literal. It was a metaphor. So we do, especially when you're dealing with spirituality, you do have to really, really seriously consider the metaphor, because it's the most probable case, okay? And I know a lot of people think what's going on is a horrible and sad thing, and it is. But on the other hand, I think it's best for everybody. I really do. So anyways, I'm going to leave you with that. Blessed be, and make it a joyful